Welcome to the Voice of Reason and Faith. Today, I'd like to share something very striking to me. Having observed on the election and having observed what is taking place in my country, Uganda. Land that is beautiful, a land that is full of gifts and talent, a land that is full of young people. And I would like to tell you that for the avoidance of doubt, I am a very concerned citizen. But I'd like to just begin with this. If silence had a weight, would we realize how heavy it presses on the back of those who cannot speak for themselves? This is just a question that I want to ask those who are listening to me now. This question is not political. This question is rather a human question. Every nation carries an invisible pulse, an inner rhythm of justice or injustice. Uganda is no exception. A pulse is not found in ballot boxes, manifestos, or campaign stages. It is found in the trembling lives of the ordinary people who wait, hope, and silently endure the pain that goes on every 5 years. Yet, if we listen carefully, we may discover disturbing truth. The oppressed do not suffer because they are weak, but because power has mastered the art of turning the majority into spectators. Now, let us think critically. There is nothing more dangerous than a society where people have been convinced that oppression is a normal inconvenience, something to be tolerated the way one tolerates rain in a long season. But rain washes, oppression stains. Furthermore, oppression does not always appear as brutality. Sometimes it arrives disguised in broken institutions, in whispering threats, in subtle manipulations, in shrinking freedom that vanishes quietly like mist before dawn. And tragically, many only notice the disappearance after it is complete. Consequently, standing firm with the oppressed becomes not a political act, but a philosophical necessity. Socrates once said that the unexamined life is not worth living. Likewise, the unexamined society is not worth inheriting. However, examining a society is uncomfortable work. It forces us to question not only the decision of leaders, but the complicity of citizens. Human dignity is not protected by good intention. It is protected by courageous clarity. In addition, liberal theology, I'm not a theologian, but liberal theology, when stripped of institutional language, reminds us of a central truth. The human person is an unrepeatable phenomenon, a universe wrapped in flesh. To validate such a person is to wound the cosmos itself. Therefore, when we defend the oppressed, we are not defending a group. We are defending the architecture of human meaning. Moreover, the mystical wisdom of ancient thinkers suggests that injustice is not merely a social disorder. It is a spiritual distortion. It rearranges a society's moral compass, bending it towards fear, obedience, and numbness. But numbness is the enemy of freedom. The moment a people stop feeling the weight of another person's pain, they stop being a community. They become a crowd, silent, movable, and forgettable. At this point, we must confront a paradox. Those who call for justice are often labeled troublemakers, while those who create injustice are disguised as guardians of order. Reality is reversed. Truth becomes a foreigner in its own land. Similarly, standing firm with the oppressed does not mean shouting slogans or carrying flags. It means refusing to let your conscience be outsourced to anyone, politicians or otherwise. It means guarding your mind from manipulation, and your heart from indifference. As a result, the highest form of courage is not rebellion, but steadfastness, the quiet refusal to treat human being as expendable, the inner vow never to trade truth for convenience, the unshakable insistence that every Ugandan matters, even the one whose name is unknown, whose voice is faint, or whose suffering is invisible. Likewise, critical reasoning tells us that a stable nation does not grow out of fear. It grows out of fairness. Fear produces obedience, but fairness produces loyalty. Fear silences, but fairness strengthens. Fear breaks, fairness builds. In light of this, the oppressed are not a political problem to be managed. They are the moral compass of the nation. How they are treated reveals who truly are beneath the slogan and speeches. Then again, mystical thought teaches something profound. In every oppressed person, there is a hidden light, small, fragile, yet unextinguishable. To stand with them is to protect that light. To ignore them is to dim the light of the nation itself. Eventually, when the election noise fades and posters peels off the walls, only one question will remain. Did we stand on the side of dignity, or did we allow fear to make us ghosts in our own country? Ultimately, standing firm with the oppressed is not about resistance. It is about remembrance. Remembering that we are human first, political creatures second. Remembering that justice is not an event, but a poster. Remembering that silence is not neutral, it is participation. Finally, let this be our collective oath. We will not be the generation that watched in silence as others were crushed. We will be the generation that chose courage over comfort, truth over illusion, and dignity over fear. Feel free to subscribe and raise your voice to participate in the ongoing oppression that is taking place in Uganda. Feel free to subscribe and share.